So this video is for the people that have studied endlessly for the UCAT but are still not confident in themselves for the exam. Much like I was myself, this is the tips that I wish I could have told myself before, and that I want people like myself to go into the exam with the mind frame of. I feel like this video has actual value to it, and if you take anything from any of my UCAT videos, I just want it to be from this video because I think it will have the most tangible effect on your exam score on the day. So I'm going to take you through a list of different tips, I think about 4 or 5, and I want you to actively take notes of what I'm saying and actively listen to this. If you're not going to do this, there's not much point in watching, I will be honest, you can just click off now. So with the first tip, and I'm bringing this up first again, because if you're not willing to take this tip into consideration, just click off as well. The first thing that I'm going to say is meditate and be able to control your thoughts at least a little bit. If I had sat the UCAT coming straight out of high school and I had none of these tips implemented, I would not be able to take control of the thoughts I was having. I would be extremely anxious going into the exam. I wouldn't have any confident thoughts, and I think I would mentally spiral into an anxious mess. Don't get me wrong, I was anxious on the day. It's not to say that these things can totally alleviate the anxiety that you'll feel on the day of an exam, because it's normal, but you can take control of your thoughts doing this. You need to get into a meditation habit, at least a mindfulness habit, in controlling what your head says and controlling sometimes when things aren't useful. So for example, going into the exam, I'm standing, I've got my ID in my hand, I'm extremely nervous and my thoughts are spiraling. I know that I've practiced enough for this test, but my thoughts are telling me otherwise. They're telling me I'm not prepared enough, I'm not going to be good enough for the exam, I'm not going to get a good score. You'll probably have these thoughts as well. So it is important that I had these techniques in my head implemented already, and I had the tools in my toolbox. I was able to sort of say to these thoughts, now is not the important time to have these thoughts, and turn away from them and think positively. If you're not able to do this in the exam, and if I wasn't able to do this on the lead up to the exam, I would have spiraled into an anxious mess. There's a 10-minute video on YouTube called Headspace. I want you to watch this and I want you to practice it every single day as well as your exam study. If you're able to do this, you will gain hold of your thoughts and you will be able to manipulate them to some degree on the lead up to the exam. You need this for the exam. This is absolutely essential, and I'm saying this first because if you're watching this far, I know you'll be able to do the rest of them. Right, I get it. I'm listening to this and it sounds very mystical and spiritual and airy-fairy. Basically, if you meditate, you will get a grasp on being able to control your thoughts, and you'll need this pretty much in situations like the UCAT. So once you've got into a mindfulness sort of meditation routine to some degree, whatever suits yourself, the day before the exam, I want you to write down tips for yourself. So the previous videos that I've mentioned and the previous videos that I've discussed, all of these tips that I'm giving to you guys are the exact ones that I wrote down for myself. So they've benefited me in 2 ways. I can now sort of I've documented them, and I can now sort of give them to a platform like this, and on the day before, they let me sort of put my thoughts into one coherent text, and that would be it. The next thing that I want to say is be aware of the progress you have made. This is more of a confidence thing than anything else. Remember to the start of the UCAT study, remember how little abstract reasoning you could do, remember how little you understood in decision making, and look at yourself now. You have made good progress, and it is important to give yourself credit where it's due. And the last one again, if you are watching this far, I'm saying this purely for the fact that this is going to test you. I'd like to explain myself when I say it, but accept failure. What is the worst that's going to happen if you fail this UCAT? You take a year out and you apply again next year. It's not the end of the world, and if you go into the exam thinking that if you fail this exam, it's not the end of the world, have a positive outlook on it, you're going to have different experiences on a year off, but be aware of everything you've learned and everything you've focused, and be aware of how hard you've worked. A lot of the anxiety surrounding this exam is going to alleviate, and you're not going to feel as anxious going into it, because at the end of the day, it is literally an exam. Who cares? You're not defined by your exam, you're not defined by the grade that you get in it, you're not defined by the scores, you're not defined by your school grades. It is just an exam. That's the end of the day. You're going to be a doctor if you want to be. If you're watching videos like this, you are going to be a doctor because you want to be bad enough. You're watching videos of me sitting in my bedroom lecturing people on the mindset of going into an exam. You have it laid out for you. Do the preparation, have the mindset that you've done the preparation, get into a strict meditation routine, just 10 minutes every day, but you will get a hold of your thoughts, and that's it. That's all you need on the day of the exam. That's the only tools in your toolbox. If you've prepared well, you will do fine. Me again. Yeah, take ID with you and take a confirmation of your email thing. Don't take any water or food with you because you can't take it in. Just be prepared for it and you'll be fine. Thank you, bye. If you're looking for more practical hands-on tips, the other videos I have made previously are sort of some walkthroughs, and they are some tips with my notes in the description. So just click on my channel and you can see some more there. If you want any more videos about the sort of mental side of the UCAT, the fatigue side of the UCAT throughout the exam, again, let me know, as I am happy to do these exams. If you're still watching this far, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.